Welcome back to Mind Blow Monday. Well, this one's a little bit different because it's pretty much just part 2 to my last video, but my last video was kind of more like a Mind Blow Monday than the typical video. So yeah, this is the part 2, and I wanted to clarify a few things here while we're here. The last one, it's a big topic to cover, and I think it's gonna take at least 2 videos to cover everything I do want to get out there. So yeah, I guess this is my heel turn. This is where I become the bad guy and all that stuff. Yeah, not making too many friends with these videos, but I do think this is important stuff that needs to be said, and I think it's time we take some accountability for all the people. Alright. So first of all, and I'm taking accountability right here, first thing I want to clarify about the last video, I didn't really make it super clear, so I'm going to clear some things up here right now. I said that a lot of reviewers nowadays don't truly talk about what makes a film or TV show work or not. They don't really look into the pieces and what really works and doesn't work. And to clarify that, I don't mean that they don't say anything, I mean that what they say is just a bunch of gibberish. You know, like, they'll still say stuff, it just doesn't hold any water. It just doesn't hold what they say. You could go to anybody I called out, look at one of their videos and be like, hey, they're talking about something right here. Yes, but what I mean by that is that it doesn't make any sense what they're saying. Not that they're not saying anything, just that what they're saying doesn't actually make any sense. Is an actual good criticism. So, going off of that, another thing I did want to clarify, Doctor Strange was in the background, kind of a weird choice probably people were thinking. The reason I chose that is because the Doctor Strange 2 reviews were the straw that broke the camel's back. I've been seeing it for a bit, I've been seeing that reviews are kind of over the place and whatnot, they're kind of going downhill, and those were the ones that finally just broke me, and I said I have to make a video on this topic, I have to start talking about it. This stuff is just ridiculous. So going off of that, I watched a review. I watched plenty of reviews, they're the ones that broke me, but one review particularly, I left a comment on said review, and it was acknowledged by the person, but they weren't too happy about it. So, wow, yeah, that's a lot. My comment was a big comment, and all he really had to say to all that was, I don't know where you're getting some sort of political slant from, weird take. So, to sum up, yeah, that's a lot there. To sum up what I said, I basically just went point by point of the guy's critique of the film and said why everything he said doesn't hold water. Why every point he made doesn't actually make sense. If you actually watched the film, looked into the film, analyzed the film, you would know that everything this guy said makes no sense. It's not true. You're making up a bunch of gibberish. It's not true. A lot of reviews today, what they remind me of, it's like when you're in school and you're doing a group project and you're making a presentation for the class, and you got that one jerk in your group. You got that one jackass who didn't do any of the work. He was just sitting back the whole time. He didn't do any of the work. But because he's in your group, he's got to be a part of your presentation. And he goes up with you and does the presentation with you. He talks about one of the slides. And everybody knows he doesn't know what he's talking about. He goes up there and he's like, yeah, so we use this formula, x squared plus the square root of b, and we plug in these numbers here. We plug these numbers in, and when it's all plugged in and worked out, 6 is the answer. The answer is 6. That's how you do it. And everybody in the class can tell This guy doesn't know what he's talking about. This guy's bullshitting his stuff through. He doesn't know what he's talking about. And that's kind of how I feel about a lot of reviews nowadays. Because I don't think people really look at said films or TV shows. They don't look at them, analyze them, and really see what works and doesn't. They don't form their own personal opinions on it and really get into the grit of it all. They just listen to strong opinionated people on the internet, hear what they have to say, and then just go, okay, I guess that's my opinion now, and then just go from there. Similar to the kid doing the presentation, he just looks up, sees what's on the presentation, and just says, yep, what this guy said, what that says, yeah. And then when some kid in the class is asking questions, well, you see, I plugged in different numbers, I got a different answer, why'd you plug in the numbers you plugged in? The kid's like, well, that's weird that you plugged in those numbers. No, you plug in these numbers. Weird take. No, you just plug in these numbers. Huh? And he can't really answer the kid's question, because he doesn't know what he's talking about. Same thing with the reviewers today. They don't really know. Yeah, why'd you say all these things? This can be disproved, this can be disproved, this can be disproved. Why'd you say all those things? Huh? What? Weird take. I'm being a little aggressive with these videos and whatnot. I'm being a little aggressive with these people. But the reason I'm saying this to all the reviewers and whatnot is because I want to make sure everybody is moving in a good direction. I want to make sure they're putting out good content, they're putting out the good stuff. I don't want to see them lose their own personality, lose what makes each person their own individual, their own special place on the internet, and instead just become one of a million other people spewing out nonsense that just is nothing. No worth. I don't want them to lose their worth. You feel me? So yeah. Another thing I did want to clarify, so we did say, I said that there was a political slant, and yeah, I talked about this in the previous video. I accused politics of playing a big part in it. And to clarify, politics are there, but I don't think, like some people, Critical Drinker and Miss Renner, okay, they're going in looking for the politics. But everybody else, they're not going in looking for the politics. I didn't really make that super clear, so I apologize. I'm making that more clear now. I don't think people go in looking for the politics. They just accidentally stumble into them. Because like I said before, they just hear the strong opinionated people on the internet and just repeat what they already said. Rather than watching said product, coming to their own conclusion, they just go with whatever this guy said. And who do you think the strong opinionated people on the internet are? The political people. Yeah. It's not on purpose, but they accidentally stumble into that stuff, and it is a little bit wrong for me to say, like, oh, you did this for politics. Like, that's a dumb thing for me to say. I shouldn't be saying that. Sorry. Shouldn't be saying that stuff. But in the end, it is something they accidentally stumble into, and this is why I'm saying what I'm saying, because don't accidentally stumble into that stuff. Instead of just hearing the strong opinionated people and repeating what they said, make your own opinion, form your own opinion, come to your own conclusions and whatnot. Because, as I did with that comment, I took down every argument made and tore it to shreds. The strong opinionated people over there, spoiler alert, the strong opinionated people are idiots who have no idea what they're talking about, man. I'm sorry, but like 9 out of 10 times, dude, the strong opinionated people who already said that, they don't know what they're talking about. They don't know what they're talking about, man. That's why you're the reviewer, you're the big guy, you're the popular person. You know why you're the popular person? Because you're a person who knows what they're talking about. You're one of the ones who are smart enough, who are talented enough that they can break things down and know what they're talking about. Those strong opinionated people over there, they don't know what they're talking about. They're just spewing out a bunch of nonsense. You can tear it to shreds if you take 2 seconds to think about it. Every argument they make, you can tear it to shreds, easily. That's why you gotta really think about it. You can't just go with what they say, because it's nonsense. It's nonsense. Another thing I wanted to clarify, I kind of acted like reviews are going down the tubes. In some cases, they're going down the tubes, but in some other YouTubers' cases, it's more like a roll of the dice. You get a good review, you get a bad review, it's up to chance. It's not that they're necessarily always going down the tubes. I used a clip in my previous video of a Cosmonauts video, and yeah, there was a line in that clip that I wasn't a big fan of, but the rest of that video, I actually was a big fan of. I actually did really like that video. It was just that one line he threw in there that I wasn't a big fan of. And that's kind of something we should take note of here. It's not necessarily that everyone's going down the tubes, it's just that sometimes people have their slip-ups, and I just want to make sure we don't do the slip-ups anymore. I want to make sure we're putting out good content, we're doing good things here, we're not doing the slip-ups anymore. So basically, yeah, I've been rambling on about all this and whatnot, and pretty much I just want the takeaway to be, form your own opinions on it. Do your own research, look into your own thing, don't listen to what other people have to say, don't do that. Just look at your product, look what you have to do, and then form your own opinion and throw your own personal take into it. You know? What does the film remind you of? What does the show remind you of? What really spoke to you? What did you really... Yeah, basically, I'm just saying you need to stop listening to the people on the internet, the strong opinionated people. Just watch the product, form your own personal opinion on it, and explain that to us. Give us the good content that we want. Don't just give us some generic stuff that a million other people have already said, and even then, it's a bunch of nonsense anyway. It doesn't make any sense. Give us your take. Not anybody else's take, your take. So, last thing I want to talk about is these certain phrases. Somebody pointed this out, and I was like, it's a good point. It's a good point to point these out. These certain phrases that pop up from time to time. And it's a pet peeve of mine. Bad criticism. You know that the guy critiquing the work, he doesn't know what he's talking about when he uses these criticisms. Number one, it's overrated. Overrated. Overrated, that is a criticism of the audience reaction to the product, not the product itself. We're not here to talk about the audience, we're here to see your take on the product. Don't tell us it's overrated and all that stuff. What is your take? What is your take? We don't care about that other stuff, what is your take? Number two, only fanboys or 14-year-old idiots like this stuff. Once again, stop critiquing the audience, man. We're not here to talk about the audience. We're here to talk about your take. Stop talking about the audience. We're here for your take. Number three, wasn't subtle. Lacks subtlety. What are you even talking about with this one, dude? Because the product was clear on what it wanted to say, it's all of a sudden bad? What? Yeah, this is just a placeholder. All these things I just listed off, they are placeholders for actual criticism because you're the person doing the presentation and you don't know what to say, so you just throw this schlock out there and it has no meaning to it. Lacks subtlety. Dude, what do you think about the product? What do you think about the product? It lacks subtlety. It wasn't subtle enough. What are you talking about, man? It tried to send the message. Did it send the message? Did it do a good job sending the message? Etc., etc. Nobody cares about, like, how subtle it was or whatnot. What are you talking about, man? What are you talking about? So yeah, when you say these things, they're placeholders, stop saying these things. Just give us your take on the product. Stop giving us a bunch of nonsense that has no worth whatsoever. We want stuff with true worth to it. Alright, and to end this video off, I did say in my last video that I wanted things to be personal, I wanted people to give personal takes. So how about I follow what I preach, and I get a little personal with you guys. Hey everyone, I'm gonna tell you guys a little story here. You know why I like reviewers so much? You know why I'm such a big fan of reviewers on YouTube? For one, I love what they talk about. I love films, I love TV shows, I love that kind of stuff. I love media production, I love that stuff, and I love talking about it. I do, having big discussions about it, I love that stuff. I love that stuff. But you know why else I really liked these YouTube reviewers, and you know why I watched them so much over the years? It's because my whole life, every aspect of my life, I've been silenced. I've been the kid sitting in the corner, not talking too much, and every time I tried to speak out, give my voice, send my voice out to the people, everybody said, shush, shush. We don't want to hear what you have to say. We don't want to hear what you have to say. Nobody would listen. I would say this, I would say that, no one would listen. No one would listen. Nobody cared what I had to say. And that's why I was so inspired when I saw YouTube reviewers. When I went on there and I saw that they had thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, maybe even millions of fans that were just there just to hear what they had to say. Just to hear their take. Just to hear what they had to say. And it was like a dream to me. It was a dream to me. What if I could be like them one day? What if I could have that many fans? What if I could have thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, maybe even millions of people that would actually give a damn about what I had to say? It's like a dream. It's the best thing. I wish I had something like that. But then it saddens me. It makes me sad when I see these reviewers and I see that they're taking everything for granted. They just don't get it. They're out there, they're taking opinions given to them by other people. They're just spewing nonsense out as fast as they can and not taking the time. They may be watching one episode of a show and making their whole opinion on the entire show off of that one episode. They're taking they're cutting as many corners as they can. They're not putting the effort in. And it's just the generic stuff that you can get anyway. They're not doing their own thing. And it makes me sad because do you guys understand just how lucky you are? How much of a privilege it is to be where you are. It's an honor. It's an honor. Truly, lucky people to be in the place you are, and you're just going to take it for granted like that? You're just going to take it for granted, not respect your own audience and give them good quality stuff, and instead cut as many corners as you can and not really treat your audience with the respect they deserve? That's sad. That's sad. And now that I'm here, I'm giving my opinions and whatnot, maybe people will listen, maybe they won't care again. I don't know. I don't know how anyone's gonna react to all this stuff. But here's what I'm saying with these videos. Maybe you listen, maybe you improve. And if you choose to just not believe anything I have to say, if you just don't do it, I mean, it's not just me saying this, it's your audience. Your audience does it. I see it time and time again. The audience is doing a better job than you. They're doing your job better than you can in some cases. And I just gotta ask the question, bud. If you don't improve, if you don't listen to the audience, you don't listen to the criticism, you don't get any better, you keep doing what you're doing, you keep spewing out that nonsense as much as you do, if you don't get any better, then do you understand that not only are you taking something that you don't deserve, not only are you taking something you don't deserve, you're taking it away from more credible people. Your audience can do your job better than you, and yet your audience out there, none of them have that audience. None of them have those thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions. None of them have that. You have that. And you're the least qualified one out of all of them. If they can do your job better than you, then how come they're not the ones with all those followers? How come you are? Maybe you guys will listen and improve. And if that's the case, then you earned all that. You earned your audience, you earned everything, you earned what you got, and I am very proud for you in that case. But if you refuse to listen, if you refuse to listen to any other criticism, you say everybody else is an idiot, I'm the one genius who hasn't figured out, everybody's an idiot, Twitter sucks, this sucks, everything sucks, everybody's an idiot but me. When you do stuff like that, buddy, you're taking things for granted, you're acting like an asshole, and you yourself are taking opportunities away from more credible people. So if you're gonna do that, maybe you're not gonna listen to me, maybe you just want me to shut my mouth already, but just know, you're taking that away from people. You're taking that opportunity away from people. Well, guess there's only one last thing to say, and that is, make McChickens, not war.